Okay, so I just stumbled across knowing Australia, my city, will go cashless. Some websites referring to 2020, some of them say 2024 or 2022. So within that period of time, um, I just don't know, are we capable of it? And many people are still struggle to use MyGov. And yet MyGov and ATO websites keep crashing. And now we are going cashless. Now, whether based on, I think, the Australian model, I think they're wanting to do the tap model. I don't know how is that going to go. So pretty much they just have a phone, you just tap as you go. I know they have that technology nowadays, but they wanted to have it to everyone. Let's just go on and let's go on to the next slide. So this is the ID is coming from RBA, Reserve Bank of Australia. Now this is not something that I pulled out of my ass or or something fake articles to talk about it. This is actually coming from supporting by the RBA as a new payment platform. Now obviously right now we have the contactless card, then you pretty much you place on behind your phone, you just tap your way through, or perhaps we have bank cards and payless, cardless, contactless, I don't know what you guys call it, tap cards as well, but it's only up to a certain amount of money you can use per day. It's like $200. But if we look carefully, the main goal is to pretty much to eliminate tax evasion and as well cash in hand. And I see that as a huge threat, as a lot of small businesses who struggle or paying tax, tax evasion, or perhaps just cash in hand, paying cheap labor in order to sustain or fulfilled to maintain their business and profit and income, because small businesses pay more taxes than big businesses percentage wise. I'm not going to go very deep details on that. I'm pretty sure you kind of get what I'm trying to say here, but having this on the side will definitely destroy a lot of small businesses. And at the beginning, because we live in a democratic society and you have a different government, has different vision, different goals, different laws, different rules, and it varies every year up and down. You can't avoid tax, you can't do anything. And I'll explain a bit more, actually I'll explain it here because I remember, I'll explain a bit more down to build the story even stronger and where's my knowledge is coming from, so you guys see, what's your point of view. So I recently made a video, actually I can't say recently, I made this video probably like January this year when I was in China, and I was amazed the amount of the cashless card, and as payments with WeChat Pay and Alipay, I was amazed. And the most of the functions and things that's been happening is more than just a cashless payment. There's more to it, but by 2020 it's mandatory that everyone's going to jump on board with the Sesame credit and going through that. So China will be going through a huge cashless society, but not sure what's the percentage, as these apps will benefit them a lot more than physical cash, as it has records on who you are and what you purchase and what type of person you are as well. I'm always fascinated about what's present time and future, and that's what my main reason making YouTube videos. Not because I'm getting views or anything. I just want to combine knowledge and urge to drive forward. And I'm studying social work, and basic card, those who doesn't know, is like a welfare cashless card that the user what to spend, what to buy, especially you can't go gambling, buy cigarettes or alcohol, or perhaps you go to certain shops who is not government approved under the basic cards. Now this is mainly in Northern Territory and some cities in various states. I only can speak behalf of where I used to live, Bankstown in Sydney. They did roll up for the basics card, and it's like a lot of places. So this is a different concept. At least you swipe the card like a credit card and you punch your code in and that's it. But oh boy, look where are we heading to. And I haven't uploaded this video, but I started to understand how cryptocurrency, how, you know, I never had understanding how strong it was, and, you know, everything like that. I pretty much will post it later on. You know, they use QR code, and, you know, WeChat Pay, they use QR code, and I find it fascinating how, you know, if you purchase some, you know, things through e-payment and you go through QR code. So it's very strong. You have payments and cryptocurrencies, you're still using QR code. I'm not sure what Australia it will fall under to, but we'll see how it goes. But it's interesting. I always wanted to urge to understand more. I know I'm blabbing a lot. I promise you I'll talk even further on. Alright, and combining all my ideas and everything. I made this video 2 years ago, how 3D printers, they can able to print and clone a card, a credit card, or scam, a fraud, able to print out. And maybe that's the one of the reason why the government needs to find a way to prevent this happening. And also having this 3D printer, you can pretty much print anything. Even one day you can print cash. You know, you actually print physical cash. And I think having a cashless payment is, you know, government who doesn't spend much money on, you know, money making machines, or perhaps just printing, and as well with ATMs. And it's just, you know, I can't say FPOS because in future if it's tapped in, then you need FPOS, but the amount of reduction that you can, the government is cost saving, you know, because everyone able to buy a phone. You know, by 2020 Australia will definitely disconnect 3G network. So I'm on a 3G network, so everyone's going to be pushed, and as well upcoming as well uprising with the 5G and as well 4G. So I guess, you know, having the cashless pay system through use of the phones, you know, I haven't checked much history or any breakdowns through WeChat Pay or Alipay, but based on my friend, he told me in the past there was crashes, but lately during these recent years there hasn't been any crashes. But that's why I said to you guys, like, if MyGov is crashing and ATO website is crashing, I don't know how capacity it will go. Last couple of days ago, I don't know, when I post this video it won't be anymore, NAB, National Australian Bank, you cannot make any transaction. The whole thing just shuts down. So I'm not sure how will this end up be. Let's move on to the next slide. And yeah, New South Wales releasing, you know, e-driver license by 2019. This is coming from, so it's all about QR codes and things like that. So we are actually heading to that direction. I've left one slide. There'll be future 10 countries will be going largely on a cashless payment. One is of course Australia. There's you know, like France, and as well they talk about Kenya, India, South Korea, and much more, and Australia is included. And very fascinating where technology is going. It feels like we're watching a sci-fi film. It's actually coming alive in play. And let's go to the final one. And this is a Norway ID card. Scandinavian, they use one ID card. Everything comes in one card, so you have your like passport and payments and things like that, all in one card. And this will be my final slide in which I'll combine everything through. When I was in China, came across one of my mum's friend who lives in Norway and told us, how Australia, we're so lucky. Where in Norway is completely different. And I'll speak to Norway at the part. She's been telling us like, nobody uses cash. I think cash you probably use frequently is probably just coffee, purchasing coffee. But other than that, it's difficult. A lot of small businesses who try to be dishonest or honest about it, or try to do tax evasion, or having incorrect, or perhaps not deliberate or deliberate presenting the income, their business will get terminated and shut, and forced to be closed. And this is how serious it gets. And that's why I say small businesses will struggle a lot in Australia, because of having that. A lot of small businesses has to do tax evasion just to survive. Many of the small businesses wouldn't survive where it is today. When you have physical cash, one of the main areas they want to get rid of is cash in hand. Now, small businesses who doesn't follow the minimum wage use cash in hand, whether they pay $10 or $12 or $15 per hour for their workers, and hire 10 of them, and sustainable. But if you put it under everything in digital, it's going to create a huge, massive burden on the pay for the management and store owners and things like that. It's a struggle for them to maintain. So you have all that. Whether Australia is capable or not, we just got to sit back and see how the things goes. Now, obviously, the most disadvantaged age group will be age. They're speculating, talking about like the age and where is this thing going. I think cryptocurrency wouldn't be as popular in the future because it's on statement now. Because if you have this cashless system, everything is record. Government knows what you do, and this will be the future every single country, as cryptocurrency is on the rise, right? They can track down everything, and so one, avoid scammers. It's a lot more secure based on the article. I can't just say from my experience because I haven't experienced it. Then you have 3D printer, and it's able to have that technology to clone cards. So it eliminates that, but also you have to look at the cyber security, how this goes and how this plays out. And you can slowly see with the driver license in New South Wales introducing an E. So we could see how the government shifting all their programs, services for their clients to access over the online instead of face-to-face with MyGov, ATO, Medicare, yada yada yada. It seems to me it's cost efficient for the government, as they less invest, it will lose a lot of jobs, and I promise you, it will be those jobs who make these monies. It will also create new jobs, and those who does codings or IT, you're on a very, very upper hand. But how many of you guys do we need to operate in a certain area? Comparison, a large area that operates, money printing or the service maintenance, repairers. how many of those jobs are killed because of this technology? And I'm always wanting to look forward in life and see, because we're living in a very interesting world. As I mentioned before, cryptocurrency. I haven't even included AI, automation. It's already there. It will kill a lot of jobs, a lot of businesses. And having this cashless system, a lot of small businesses will struggle, or pretty much will close their door, because minimum wage and everything is just, you have to do it or else they'll call you. And it's a very tough gig. When the big companies introduce WeChat Pay and Alipay, they say, well, people tend to be impulse buying or wouldn't care, because it's essentially, like a card. It's just tap, 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 or scan, 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 scan on your QR code. And it doesn't feel like you're spending big or you're being cautious. So it's actually good for the economics booming. I don't know, like, the unemployment would go skyrocket. I don't know where we're actually heading to. It's a very, very interesting era we're living. My belief is, I don't think Australia is really prepared 2022 or 2024. I don't think we are prepared. In comparison to China, I think China will be a lot more better result than Australia. But Australia to jump from A to B, that's pretty fast. It's just going to kill a lot of jobs. That's all I can say. Not only just jobs, but all the small businesses, it will struggle a lot more for them. I don't know. Maybe I should look back on this video, maybe next 2 or 4 years, and see along the line what's it like. But having a knowledge of Norway, China, 3D printing, and just different aspects to combine my views to make on this video. And it's great to have a holistic lens to look through different perspective and look through and see through your eyes. And that's why I made my channel, and I'm more optimistic about the future.